Now, you would imagine getting baptized, then not getting confirmed, then having your husband being arrested twice would be really stressful. And it does appear that these events were really, really difficult for Emma Smith. So the next revelation in the Doctrine and Covenants is special. It's given to Emma Smith because she's so discouraged and so troubled by the things that were happening. Part of what was troubling her was that Harmony was her hometown, and some of the people involved in the persecutions against Joseph Smith were Emma's own family members. Emma's father, Isaac Hale, was deeply opposed to the work that Joseph Smith was doing. And one of Emma's uncles was a Methodist minister that also led the opposition. Emma was reaching a point where she was going to have to choose between her faith in her husband and her family on the other hand. And in a few months, she would leave Harmony and never return or see her family again. It was at this time when she needed strength that the Lord spoke to her in a revelation that has not only become a banner for Emma Smith to hold to, but a witness to all women of the church, that the Lord knows and recognizes his daughters and understands them. In fact, that's the title that the Lord uses for Emma Smith in the opening of section 25, that she is his daughter because she's accepted the gospel. He also gives her another title, which is an elect lady. This prophecy that she would be an elect lady was literally fulfilled 12 years later when the Relief Society was organized. During that time, Joseph Smith noted that Emma had been elected to the presidency of the society and had previously been ordained to expound the scriptures in section 25 of the Doctrine and Covenants. Emma leads the Relief Society, establishing this organization for women as a group of people that will serve and help and assist others. In fact, on the day the Relief Society is organized, she said, "We are going to do something extraordinary. We expect extraordinary occasions and pressing calls." Emma was also told to stay true to her witness of the Book of Mormon, which she did for the rest of her life. Emma didn't travel west, but she never denied her testimony of the Book of Mormon. In fact, near the end of her life, in an interview with her son, she said, "My belief is that the Book of Mormon is of divine authenticity. I have not the slightest doubt of it. I'm satisfied that no man could have dictated the writing of the manuscripts unless he was inspired. For when acting as a scribe, your father would dictate to me hour after hour. And when returning after meals or interruptions, he could at once begin where he left off without either seeing the manuscript or having any portion of it read to him. This was a usual thing for him to do. It would have been improbable that a learned man could do this. For one so ignorant and unlearned as he was, it was simply impossible." The Lord also recognized some specific talents and gifts that Emma held individually. For instance, just 5 years later, Emma Smith published the very first hymn book in the history of the church, only about this big. It contains a selection of hymns that Emma had chosen herself and that were composed by several early members of the church, among them W.W. Phelps. As you look through this book, you're going to notice a couple things. For instance, there is no music because often the saints would select different tunes and sing the lyrics along with different music accompanying it. Some of the most classic hymns in Latter-day Saint hymnody are found here. For instance, Redeemer of Israel. And on the very last page is found the Spirit of God like a fire is burning. This is the start of Latter-day Saint involvement in music and worship that goes all the way down from the most humble congregation singing the hymn as best they can to the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square being accompanied by a full orchestra and selling album after album of sacred music. Emma Smith starts this, and it's a recognition that the Lord not only knows her, that he knows specifically what her talents are and what gifts she can use to build the kingdom.